Eu só não vou deixar full screen, tá, guys? O react, porque eu não confio que vocês vão achar que eu não tô na fila. Eu acho que vocês vão achar que eu não tô na fila se eu deixar full screen. Na verdade, eu vou deixar full screen. Pera aí.
AKA Pabro.
And I'm Andre, also known as Medler. Today is October 30th, which is a bit earlier than usual, because we're flying to Worlds soon, and we wanted to film this before we left.
This is our last dev update of the year.
Esse cara já tá me irritando
Before we
já.
get into some of the things you'll see in Season 1 2026, we wanted to thank you all for being on the journey with us this year.
As always, we want to show some love
Tá
for your
dando pra
passion,
ouvir?
for keeping us honest, and for making working on this game so worth it. Now, in January, we'll be back to talk more about Season 1, as well as a little bit of what to expect for the rest of 2026 overall.
Okay.
But for now, let's get into it.
Ok.
We learned a lot this year about seasons. Many of you liked what came with the themes, the map art updates, metagames, new champions, and champ updates overall, for example. But we also saw that if we leaned too hard into a region, it could feel very one note, especially when it comes to skins. And as it turns out, there is
Venderam pouco, né? Especially when it comes to skins. Venderam pouco, né, seus vagabundos? Só venderam esses gachá na China, né? Fica lançando essas skins bosta que ninguém quer. Especially when it comes to skins.
is too much of a
3 anos pra lançar skin pro Smolder e lança um Smolder Rena.
thing like Noxus.
A lot of red and black.
Yeah.
So, we'll continue to find the right balance for thematic seasons
Eu vou comprar, tá? Disclaimer.
moving forwards. And speaking of which, it's time to talk about Season 1 of 2026.
Bora.
For this, we wanted a contrast from 2025, with its ancient danger, a dark end, and quite a bit of scheming throughout. So next year, we want to kick things off with themes of unity, hope, and justice, with a drop of righteous judgment thrown in there for good measure.
Eu não acho feio, tá? Olha só, vocês vão me achar reclamando demais. Eu sou, mas tudo bem. A ideia do React é isso, né? A gente dá a nossa opinião. Eu não acho feio League of Legends por Demacia, a primeira temporada. Eu não acho feio, mas isso tem um aspecto de jogo de celular que eu não consigo descrever.
So, that means Petrosite, gold, and blue accents on the map, as well as some Demacia-themed skins,
Ó, tá ali,
including
lá.
some champions
Olha esse jogar, que lindo! Nice!
reimagined as Demacians, with plenty of non-Demacia skins
Outra skin pra Morgana?
for some variety.
Pelo amor de Deus.
That also means that the yearly cinematic in January will feature Demacian champions. We're going back to old school Demacia this time, back in time to what some might consider the golden age of Demacia, when it was a beacon of hope and a bastion of justice.
Hey, Andre, are we forgetting something?
I don't think so.
You sure?
Nah, yeah, let's keep going. I don't want this to drag on.
Anyway, we have a range of Summoner's Rift changes that the team will talk about in a moment.
Não entendi.
And this year, we'll also talk about some updates to Swift Play. With that, we're going to hand it over to Riot Endstep and Freak.
Alguém
who
joga
will walk you
Swift
through
Play?
some of the Summoner's Rift changes coming in January.
Hey everyone, I'm Riot Endstep,
And
Meu
I'm
Deus, o Freak
and we're here
careca.
to talk to you about the Summoner's Rift gameplay changes coming in January.
Over the last few years, League has been largely about team fighting over neutral objectives, fighting around grubs, dragons, or that vision ward you just placed around grubs or dragons.
And while we know 5v5s make for some of the highest highs, we want to swing back towards a state where more strategies like splitting or sieging are more viable.
So we're making some changes to major neutral objectives,
Que é
towers,
Swift Play?
and minions in order to do just that.
Additionally, we're making adjustments to roles so everyone has an appropriate impact on the outcome of each game, because right now, some lanes are much better at turning a winning lane into a winning game.
We also have some delightful improvements, so let's get started.
Tá, isso é um problema.
The first thing you'll notice in January is that the game starts faster. We
Eu não sei se isso é um
much better
problema.
at turning a winning
Me
impact on the
preocupa.
outcome of each game, because right now, some lanes are much better at turning a winning lane into a winning game.
Sim, mas é um problema que algumas rotas sejam melhores em vencer as partidas, em transformar uma vitória na rota em uma vitória na partida?
We also have some delightful improvements, so let's get started.
Não sei se tem como
The
deixar
first
todo
thing you'll
mundo
notice in
igual nesse
January is that the
sentido.
game starts faster. We want to reduce downtime after you load in, so minions and basic jungle camps first spawn 35 seconds earlier than they do today.
Oh, uau!
You'll still be able to
Uau, isso é legal, não?
pull off early invades, but you'll have to be much more decisive when you load in.
We're also making
Ah,
some
eu
changes
gosto
to vision.
disso, mano. Tem muito tempo ocioso no início do jogo. Se nenhum dos times invade e tal, é muito chato. Fica esperando um minuto, mano. Gostei disso aqui. Se eu não reclamo aos 5 anos que o jungle é muito forte, eu reclamo. Eu não reclamo, não coisa nenhuma. Até porque pra mim a role mais forte é suporte. E jungle é muito forte, mas não sei o que você tá falando, que eu reclamo. Eu não reclamo, não. Jungle O que é muito evidente quando é uma discrepância de jungler e suporte. Mas o público geral não sabe de nada. Quando cai. Mas tipo assim, a minha reclamação é mais uma coisa chata que acontece pra um público muito específico, que é quem joga do Challenger, Grão-Mestre, e aí você cai com um jungler pro player contra um jungler que não é pro player, ou um cara cai autofill na jungle. Esse é meu problema com o jungle. Quando você coloca um jungler que sabe o que tá fazendo contra um autofill na jungle, é uma experiência miserável pra todo mundo, cara. Esse é meu problema com o jungle.
It's an incredibly powerful tool in League, but right now it feels monopolized by supports and sometimes by jungle.
Mas aí eu acho que isso deriva mais pro autofill do que efetivamente pra rota, né?
We want to make effectively warning the map easier to learn for everyone, and give more opportunities and power towards drops by pushing champions, especially mid and top laners who are side laning later in the game.
Eles escolheram um exemplo bom, porque o Yorick é um campeão conhecido por demorar pra levar a torre.
So, we're adding Phaelites, locations that grant temporary bonus vision to wards with unique bonus vision areas for each spot. Some Phaelite rings will be available at the beginning of each game, while others reveal themselves when the Elemental Rift transforms, particularly those that would otherwise disrupt early game jungle.
Okay, so on to the objectives. Otacon was one of the biggest additions to the Rift this year, and was a pretty cool, unique objective.
Legal, o Otacon é legal, eu acho que foi legal.
Contributed to objective fatigue, which many of you cited as an issue, and we agree. We wanted to alleviate this over time. We had removed the second form of Otacon, we removed the second set of grubs.
Vamos terminar de assistir?
So,
Fiquei interessado. Credo, atacou esse demônio feio aí? Misericórdia.
Otacon out of the game. That includes Blood Roses and the petals with them.
Calma, não vai ter as rosas?
Out of the game. That includes Blood Roses and the petals with them.
Não!
That said, let us know what...
É uma dopamina tão gostosa quando nasce um buquê de rosas do seu lado.
Fala, Cami, eu tô vendo sua live aqui. E, cara, como que vai fazer com os jungles como, por exemplo, Shaco e Zyra, que precisa colocar as caixinhas, esperar as plantas nascerem?
Nossa.
Se agora vai nascer muito mais rápido os campos, será aí sim que esses bonecos vão morrer, não?
Kazunari, você fez uma excelente pergunta. Eu tenho a impressão que se Shaco morrer, uma grande parte da população que joga não vai ficar triste. Mas acho que não tem problema, dá tempo. Porque 35 segundos antes, o campo da jungle nasce o quê? 1:10? Dá tempo, eu acho, chegar. Talvez ele perca aquele tease de... Eu não sei se vocês sabem, mas o Shaco consegue fazer as galinhas só com a caixinha. Ele pode colocar as caixinhas na galinha e ir pro head, por exemplo. Ele faz o head, enquanto ele tá fazendo o head, as caixinhas solam a galinha. Então, assim, é uma coisa...
Think about limited time gameplay changes and if there's something
O mundo vai ser um lugar pior se o Shaco não puder fazer as galinhas só com a caixinha?
you'd like to see more of.
But back to Otacon, his removal also means that Baron will go back to his old 20-minute spawn time. Welcome back, King.
Additionally, we're making all epic monsters more durable, especially late game dragons as you get closer to Dragon Soul.
Legal.
That should make it so that it's easier for teams on the back foot to contest dragons and other epic monsters
Legal
or
isso.
trade something meaningful on the...
Hoje os dragons eu sinto que morrem muito rápido. Tipo, se você já não tem visão, você é forçado a give up, porque morre muito rápido o bicho. Tipo, juro, obrigado pelos 29 meses, querido.
other side of the map.
Finally, we're also removing feats of strength from the game. We like that they push teams to progress the game
Ah.
and provided goals
É,
to
tá
rally
bom.
around, but we think we can create
Tinha umas
better
botas
game
muito mais
systems that
desbalanceadas
allow
do que
for
as
players to
outras.
have more individual agency over their games.
É.
With feats getting the boot, we're adding back some gold rewards for first blood and
Nice,
first turret.
nice. Boa.
Another way we're looking to improve sieging is with a new mechanic called Crystalline Overgrowth, which is kind of like a universal demolish effect. Crystals will build up on towers over several minutes, and when hit, they're consumed to deal an extra burst of damage based on how much buildup has accumulated. This should help enable pushing windows in more situations, even if you're behind or don't have the highest DPS. Demolish will be sticking around, but will be simplified to a good old 3-hit passive.
We love 3-hit passives.
Yes, we do.
Turret plates will now stay on outer turrets permanently and will be added to the inner and inhibitor towers as well. We're doing this to create long-term piecemeal rewards for pushers.
Tá,
No
tá.
matter what state the turret's in, you're likely to mine some gold by taking aggressive actions.
Legal. Eu acho que eu gosto disso. Porque, por exemplo, no jogo passado teve uma situação que os caras estavam perdendo 1 trilhão de segundos dando chase no bot lá, e eu fui bater na T2 do mid. E a T2 do mid ficou com tipo 20% do HP. Só que esses 80% de HP que a gente tirou da torre do mid, eles não se converteram em nada, certo? Se você fazer um negócio um pouco mais gradual, eu acho que é bom.
We're not adding more gold to the map with these changes. Instead, we're going to be basically spreading out the
Acho que é bom.
current gold for killing a tower and splitting it across the plates.
To further facilitate pushing, we're ramping up minion respawn rates in the late game to give more frequent access to sieging turrets. We're also adjusting late game home guards to swiftly take you to your most pushed minion wave in each lane.
And finally, next to turrets,
Home guards to swiftly take you to your most pushed minion wave in each turrets. We're also adjusting Lakeum home guards to swiftly take you to your most pushed minion wave in each lane.
And
Acho que isso aí é too much, não?
finally, Nexus will respawn with partial health missing. We like that the respawn allows a team to hold their base for a while.
Pera, o que ele falou?
Partial health missing.
As
We
torres
like
do
it this
Nexus
lane. And
ressurgirão.
finally, Nexus will respawn with partial health missing. We like that the respawn allows
tá.
a team to hold their base for a while
Ah,
and not
wow.
have to worry about getting backdoored by a Twitch, but with a full health respawn, it meant that it was honestly incorrect for a sieging team to finish killing the turret sometimes.
É, sim.
Now, for our biggest change
Mas
for
acho
next
que
year.
foi meio
role
drástico,
quests.
pareceu.
When you load into the game
Vamos
in
ver o que
January,
vai ser essas
top,
missões
bot,
aí.
and mid lane will now have their own quests that reward unique power, similar to the jungle pet evolutions and the support item upgrades.
Tá.
You'll progress these new quests by killing minions, champions, plates, towers, or epic objectives. All the things you'd normally be doing in a game.
Tá.
You'll progress even faster by doing those in your assigned lane.
Your quest is decided by which role you've been assigned in the lobby. So if you and a friend or a stranger want to change roles, make sure you do an official trade in Champ Select.
Tá.
One of our goals with these role quests is to buff top and bot carry relative to the other roles, as they're currently the two weakest, and as a result, the quest rewards are going to be comparatively stronger for them. Now, let's get into the rewards which will be granted in a new role quest slot.
Historically, top laners haven't always felt like they have the agency over the games that they deserved, even if they won their lane. And that's something we would like to change this season.
Bem feito.
Upon quest completion, top laners will receive pretty much Summoner Teleport for free on top of the two summoners they already chose. Now, if you had taken Teleport in pregame, instead that spell gets a lot stronger, giving a very, very large shield when you use it. In addition to getting a functionally free summoner spell, top laners will also get a bunch of bonus XP up front, more XP from future sources, and an increased level cap.
Now, to mid lane.
Ah, eles estão fazendo merda, não estão, não? Ah...
In addition to getting a functionally free summoner spell, top laners will also get a bunch of bonus XP up
Bônus de experiência inicial. Cara, quando mexe na experiência, é sempre cagada. Quando mexe em experiência... Anota o que eu tô falando. Quando mexe em experiência, é sempre cagada. Passiva do Zillion antigamente, que fazia todo mundo ganhar mais experiência. Imoral. Mordekaiser, que ganhava mais experiência. Imoral. Não tem muitos exemplos, porque mexer com experiência é...
front, more XP from future sources, and an increased level cap.
Now, to mid lane. A huge variety of champions can be played there, so we wanted this reward to be good whether you're mage, assassin, or both, like Malphite mid. And upon completing the quest, mid laners will receive a free tier 3 boot upgrade like the ones you could buy with feats, as well as a faster recall.
Rounding it out for
Tier 3 boot upgrade like the ones you could buy with feats, as well as
Tá.
a faster recall.
rounding it out
Bacana,
for
gostei.
new quests. In bot lane, we're going to lean even harder into the carry part of the role. So while top laners are getting bonus XP, bot laners are getting a whole bunch of extra gold. When completing their quest, they get a lump sum of gold, increased gold from minion kills, champ kills, and champion assists for the rest of the game. And you might be asking,
Pera.
then what are increased gold from minion kills, champ kills, and
Essa catapa deu 52 de gold. Catapa não dá tipo 100 de gold? Será que eles vão nerfar o gold da catapa?
champion assists for the rest of the game. And you might be asking, well, then what do I do with all this gold if I hit item cap? Don't worry, the item cap is going up. Your 7th item slot will hold your boots permanently, allowing you to get 6 full legendary items for extra hard late game scaling.
Jungle and support already have quests and rewards, but we still wanted to take this opportunity to make some changes to them. Jungle is by far the strongest role in the game right now, especially when it comes to early map influence, so we're slightly lowering the speed of early game clears to give lane matchups a little bit more time to play out uninterrupted. We're also making it harder for non-junglers to steal objectives by increasing their resists and making Smite deal more damage.
Their role quest is still getting pet upgrades and PvP Smite like before, and they're
Okay.
now getting increased gold and XP from large monsters when the quest is done, as well as bonus
Meu Deus, para de mexer em experiência. Para de mexer em experiência.
movement speed in the jungle.
Similar to Jungle, we think support is already plenty powerful and has a very functional role quest, so we didn't want to directly increase their power. With that in mind, we wanted to give them quality of life-oriented upgrades, so we're giving them a new slot exclusively for control wards.
Ah, isso é bom
discounts on
mesmo,
control
viu?
wards, and a little bit more gold over time so they can keep pace
É.
a little better with the other roles.
Eu concordo, é muito chato jogar de suporte, na moral. Você não tem dinheiro pra nada, e tem que ficar gastando dinheiro com pink ainda por cima, é muito chato. Tem que deixar mais divertida essa rota mesmo.
Overall, we want these quests to represent meaningful power spikes in a way that leans into the unique strengths of each role. This also allows us to delete the lane swap detective mechanic that we added last year to combat pro lane swapping. We'll be keeping a close eye on how quests land, so please let us know your thoughts next year.
But
Só ano que vem?
quests aren't all we have planned to make your champions feel more satisfying.
Isso entra
We're
no
gonna bring
esse
back a few
ano?
items to the Rift
Não,
for
né?
each class, to give them some shiny new toys, including bringing back a few
Ai, fiquei
familiar
com fome.
favorites like Hextech Gunblade.
For example, we're
Ah, eu vi essa bomba que tá voltando. Vocês vão voltar com essa Gunblade. Vocês são uns patetas. Escuta o que eu tô falando. É uma ideia pateta. É uma ideia pateta e é capaz do cara que inventou isso ganhar um aumento.
the new Scepter of Bonking for AP fighters, which will empower your Spellblade Bonk to double your on-hit effects.
That's not the final name, is it?
I would like it, but no, we're probably gonna give it something in canon.
I do love bonking. Well, anyway, given none of these names are final, if you're an AD fighter without a good way to get Omnivamp, you can grab Blood Sphere, which will give you some Omnivamp and also ability haste scaling
Cara, não faz nem muito tempo que eles vieram com esse coisa de vampirismo, cara. Olha o Hemodrenário. Mano.
with your AD.
Or if you play an AD carry who's really good at auto-spacing, you can pick up Snowbow for extra range on takedown, plus damage amp based on how far away you are from your opponent.
Isso é legal.
We took a hard look at which subclasses didn't feel like they were getting enough support from the current item system and worked to fill those spaces. So we're hoping many champions have at least one of the 9 new items that they can get excited about.
Speaking of which, we're also adding crit damage back to 200%.
All right, we know that was a lot to cover. We're
Vai ser uma putaria.
excited to hear what you think of all these changes as the new season kicks off.
And in case you're looking for even more details or insights on these changes, make sure to check out the dev blog that's live right now.
That's it from us on the Summoners Rift team, and so we'll throw it back to Pablo and Medler, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Okay, let's talk about ranked. This year we've been making improvements to shorten queue times and make your matches more fair through improvements to inting and griefing detection. And, more recently, we ran a test in late September that reduced queue times by 40% at all ranks, in ranked, in EU West and Oceania. We want to double down on that work and make 2026 the best time yet to climb.
So next year, we'll be also tackling 2 common frustrations, mismatched teams and long queues.
Não,
Something we
autofill,
want to address
autofill.
is visual rank disparity in lobbies as well. When players start their climbs late after a reset, you may see a bronze player in an otherwise gold game, which can feel particularly unfair. When in reality, that player was gold last season, but they haven't gotten back to that rank yet because they've had less time to play. So, we're adding a climb indicator to loading screens when a player's MMR is higher than their visible rank. This will let other players know that you're climbing quickly and your displayed rank hasn't caught up yet.
We're also making changes to how flex and solo duo MMR are calculated. A common pain point is someone who is silver in flex and, say, diamond in solo duo just stomping a bunch of games, when in reality
Heck yeah.
they're silver in flex and, say, diamond in solo duo just stomping a bunch of games, when in reality they're truly diamond in both ladders. So this season, if your solo duo MMR is much higher than your flex MMR, the system should bring your flex rank a lot closer to your solo duo one. And that should mean flex matchups will feel a fair bit more balanced.
É, mas assim. Tem que mexer nas coisas que não são certas, né? Mas eu sinto que. Não sei se. Flex? Tem muita gente que joga flex?
Next, we're making changes to autofill. The reality of League is that certain roles are substantially more popular than others, and having an autofill jungler versus a jungle main can feel like an auto.
Ah, isso aí, ó.
This means that quite often people either dodge to avoid it or hold your lobby hostage in order to get you to dodge. When nobody likes queue times, this is an awful experience.
So we have a number of changes to make autofill fairer, and to reward you for sticking with the role you're assigned when you do get autofilled. First, if someone on your team is autofilled, the system will try to match autofilled players by role.
Tá, isso é muito bom. Ok. Isso já é bom.
So an autofilled jungler versus another autofilled
Ok.
jungler, for example. If it can't match by roles, it will then of course fall back and try to ensure the same number of autofilled players on each
Ruim.
team.
Não funciona.
We do know though that even with that balance, autofill games can still feel discouraging when
Sim.
you play your best in a role that you didn't choose.
Exato.
That's why we're adding a new system called Aegis of Valor. If you're autofilled and earn a mastery score of C or greater, the Aegis will trigger. You won't lose any LP on a loss, or you'll earn double LP for
Oh.
a win.
Ok.
For those of you who main less popular roles and therefore seldom get autofilled, first of all, Thanks. We haven't forgotten about you. You'll still occasionally receive the Aegis benefit at about the same rate as other players because we want to reward the role heroes who keep the queue healthy and moving. Finally, we know how frustrating it is to be constantly returned to the queue because you get enchained dodges lobby after lobby. So,
pra entrar na fila
we
já?
queue updates.
First, after a positive response to our pilot test,
Vou deixar na fila.
we're removing the ability to ban a hovered allied champion,
Tá.
taking away an opportunity for a teammate to tilt off the planet before the match even starts. And then second, dodging a lobby will no longer allow players to escape autofill. It'll just get carried over to the next lobby.
Isso é ruim, né?
We think that the Aegis of Valor should
Mas, não, na verdade, como tem essa égide da aí,
provide a solid reward for sticking around and trying. So, I mean, come on, it's double LP for a win, after all. And at Master and above, dodging
mas o sentimento é que é um sequestro, né? Tipo, se caiu o autofill, não dá dodge. Se você der dodge, você vai perder PDL e vai continuar autofill. É meio... Parece que o cara tá apontando uma arma na tua cabeça, né?
autofill will count as a full loss.
We know that this is a pretty big change from how we've dealt with dodging in the past, and we believe that this will lead to higher quality and faster games. Speaking of speeding things up, we're also speeding up Champ Select by cutting down on timers and animations, which should save about half a minute.
I see what you did
Perfeito,
there.
ótimo.
No, I did it.
And if that wasn't enough, we've got
Nice,
one
tá bom.
last ranked change. We're adding back duo queue to higher ranks, including Challenger, in most regions.
Ai, aceitei.
So many people, League is better with friends. And in the past we disabled duoing at Apex
Ah,
tier
vai
ranks
voltar
because it's
duo.
so often led to rank manipulation. But, because of the improvements we mentioned earlier, as well as the ongoing work on boosting and ranked manipulation detection, we're confident that we can bring back high MMR duoing without it being so abused.
So, call up your friends. It's duo time.
Switching gears, let's talk about Swift Play. Swift Play is pretty popular, and we think there's a lot of room for further improvement. And we
Jogo
want Swift
dinâmico
Play
é
to be
tipo
that place
Earthy.
where you can get in a quick game, where you and or some friends can practice new champions, or where new players can
O Aran das
come and learn
cartinhas
and
e
get their
tal.
footing on the Rift.
That means Swift Play should still be somewhat competitive while providing quicker queues, faster games, and serving both new and existing players. So, we're rolling out some changes that should address the overall pacing, touching objectives, laning, and the jungle.
To start with, we're bringing over a lot of the changes to Summoner's Rift generally that were talked about earlier in this video, except for role quests. Now, for Swift Play specific changes though, the first thing we're tackling is game pacing. Swift Play games are actually a bit
Calma, o rolê de perder PDL não funciona pra mestre mais? Sério? Ele falou isso?
long, and the general consensus is there isn't quite enough action. So things like long
Eu não sei o que é jogo
timers,
dinâmico, guys, eu vou pular
focusing
isso.
on
Go for it.
Hi everyone, I'm Dashi Jador, product lead, back again to chat about WASD, this time with...
The tech lead for WASD. I'm Riot, call me KT.
Now that Worlds is over and we're getting closer to the end of the year, we want to check back in on the wild world of WASD. We've been on the PBE for a few months now, and in that time we've caught and squashed over 100 bugs. All thanks to the feedback we received from all of you creative, maybe a little unhinged PBE players who've been helping us find, identify, and crush all of these pesky bugs. An extra special thanks to the players who are able to re-trigger the notorious new bug. Even beyond bugs, PBE players have been giving us great recommendations and requests.
One Redditor recommended that we add an
Ah, não, o
option
dodge
to a
vai
single
contar como
button
derrota,
input to
sim.
move at a 45-degree angle up and down the lane. It sounded pretty wild at first, but we found through our internal testing that it actually saved a lot of finger pain. So it will be available as an accessibility option for WASD players going forward. Since our debut on the PBE, we've been continuously updating all the different facets of WASD. We've made improvements to navigating around minions, wall sliding, the new dynamic lock camera, and more. One of these features is a new auto attack
Pera aí, deixa eu só pegar meu boneco aqui, rapidex.
system for WASD. With practice and dedication, you'll be able to weave attacks and movement, matching the experience in point and click to reach your optimum DPS. Our goal is to keep WASD as an alternative control scheme at all levels of play, not just for brand new players. We'll be keeping an eye on feedback as well as our internal data to ensure it remains an equitable experience.
We've also been updating our dynamic locked camera. We've added the highly requested ability to tune the camera speed to your liking.
Esse
Along with
negócio
these
do
settings, we've
WASD
heard your
aí...
feedback on wanting a way to scout ahead, to check for ganks, look
Eu
at
acho que é
other
um
lanes,
erro.
and much more. So we've introduced a new feature appropriately named the Scout Ahead mode. When you're in dynamic locked camera, you can hold your middle mouse button to freely move your camera and you'll snap back on release. These features, along with all the bug fixes, will be available when WASD goes
Esse
live
brinco
tomorrow
dela é
in all
do
queues
Demon
except
Slayer?
ranked and normal draft games. We're choosing to keep WASD out of draft modes for now, as we want to make sure you can have a smooth process for your ranked climb.
Really? Tomorrow?
Well, WASD will be live in all unranked queues except normal draft in patch 25.24, which for many of you should be tomorrow.
Oh,
We saw
ok.
requests and questions about other features we've promised, like champion-specific keybinds and enabling many of these new features for point-and-click players. We're still working on
Essa senhora... Tô chamando ela de véia. Essa moça parece ser muito gentil.
them and much more to come.
We're at the point where we want to focus on getting large amounts of player data in order to drive our development further. So we're opening up the feedback channels to our much more global audience. Now, we still don't have the exact timeline on when WASD will come to ranked. We want to ship it when it's ready, which means fair, balanced, bug-free, and smooth to play.
Please keep up the feedback and bug reports. There may still be a few stragglers out there. Only through our powers combined can we find all of them.
That's it for us. Be sure to check back out on WASD when it's live and send your
Double
bugs,
cringe.
feedback, and best misplays.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you WASDing on the Rift.